Hello everybody, this is Tim here again, here with another movie review, this time for Pumpkinhead 2. To continue my Pumpkinhead thon here, I just want to talk about Pumpkinhead 2 Blood Wings. Now, this film has a pretty strange history with it. It pretty much totally ignores Pumpkinhead 1 and comes up with like a whole new story that pretty much goes against the mythology of the first film. It doesn't so much go against it, but totally alters it. If you look up information about this film, I believe that originally this film was going to be a different film, and the studio, to keep the rights to Pumpkinhead, rewrote this thing and sent it out quick so they could keep the rights to Pumpkinhead. So we got a film that really had nothing to do with Pumpkinhead, rewritten to focus on Pumpkinhead for no reason other than to keep the rights. It makes little to no sense. It makes sense why, I should rephrase that. It makes sense why the studio would do that, because they want to keep the rights. It's all about money in Hollywood mostly, and so, they want the rights. Basically, what we end up with is a movie, sorry about that, where the setup is Pumpkinhead the Demon raped a woman, or had sex with a chick, even though he has no dick, and she has a deformed child. The child grows up in the woods, is taken care of by a witch. The child is murdered. And he's an innocent kid. He's murdered. Okay. Years later, some teenagers break into the witch's place, steal her stuff, do a demonic ritual on the kid. The kid comes back to life, starts hunting down the people who murdered it, and the kids, when they stole the stuff to do the demonic ritual, also beat the shit out of the witch, who was the caregiver or keeper of Tommy's spirit, which the kid's name is Tommy. And so he's out for revenge for her as well. Okay. Punky Brewster plays one of the kids. She's good looking here. Plays one of the teens, And the main teen girl is this blonde-haired chick who's the sheriff's daughter, and the sheriff is played by Andrew Robinson. He plays a good, well-mannered kind of guy here who used to know Tommy met him one day when he was a kid. Yeah, that was kind of too convenient, but it worked pretty much in the flick. He met him one day and saved his life when he almost fell into a well. That kind of works. The blonde-haired chick who plays his daughter is hot, but her character is annoying. Like, pretty much she's the girl who is typical stereotype. She's attracted to bad boys, even though she knows they're assholes. And you get the idea that she did this once before and got into a lot of trouble. She, stole a teacher's car or something, went joyriding. But, so they had to move to a different town. So she's doing the same thing again here, screwing up. And, so it makes you automatically think her character's a moron, because as soon as she gets to school, she goes to the biggest bunch of asshole-looking kids, 90s style, she can find, and is like, "Come on, I want to hang out with you guys." And she's like, "Oh, you idiot, you're fucking up bad." And so that it just makes the character annoying. Yes, I know it's probably realistic, and for that I give the movie points. But at the same time, this character's annoying. You get the idea that she's the most decent of the group of the teens that she's with, because she's the most kind-hearted. She wants to hang out with the bad boys and do bad stuff, but not too bad. The main guy is the dude who is in Return Limited 3, who is the boyfriend in Return Limited 3. Here he plays a total asshole, and he pretty much wants to go out joyriding and stuff like that, and do really crazy stuff. He gets in his vehicle and he plays this, the headlight game. You've probably seen it before in other movies, where he turns his lights off and turns them back on, so so they can't see, and then they can see, and then he accidentally hits the witch woman, and then they go to her house to check and see if she's okay, and he robs her, knocks her brains out with the flashlight, and causes the place to be set on fire. So this guy's a total dick, to the point where it's almost unrealistic. He's a high school kid, I guess, and he's knocking this old woman's brains out. If this dude's this bad, he probably should have been in juvenile delinquent center years earlier. But his dad's the mayor, so I guess you could say he probably keeps him out of it. But at the same time, it's a little fishy. But anyway, so Pumpkinhead comes back. The old witch lady dies in the hospital. Pumpkinhead takes people out left and right. You get a cameo by Kane Hodder. It's just really weird seeing him here, because his character does nothing and he gets a lame death. Linnea Quigley is screwing this guy who's the postman, and you get to see her tits. Great. She gets scared by Pumpkinhead, and the sheriff is looking at her, and this doctor's there with him, and she's it's one step away from being scared to death, talking about the way she looks. And it's really overly dramatic. It's just silly. Pumpkinhead takes revenge for himself, for the people who killed him when he was alive. the kid Tommy does, who's supposed to be like Pumpkinhead's son. It's like really weird. And like I said, this script was rewritten to feature Pumpkinhead, and originally it was a totally different movie from what I understand. So that's why all the inconsistencies happen and why the film doesn't make much sense in context with part 1. But anyway, so he kills him. You get some okay death scenes every now and then. Like Pumpkinhead picks up a dude, takes his knee, and like friggin' snaps the dude, you know, on his knee. That was kind of funny in a WWF type way. The suit is practical. There's no CGI here. The suit is practical and it looks good. It doesn't look great like the first film. This Pumpkinhead has more of like a sad human look to his face. He looks good though. He gets to the end. He starts taking out the teenagers. And the last guy, the main asshole boy from Return of the Living Dead 3, he rips his head clean off. That was kind of cool. So we get to where he's about to kill the blonde-haired chick. And so he wants to kill the blonde-haired chick, sheriff's daughter. And the sheriff convinces him that she's innocent, that she really didn't do anything. And technically she kind of didn't, but then the other kids didn't either, but they still die for it. It's really just the asshole main kid. Well, the other kids were kind of annoying, so the hell with them. One thing I'll give points to this movie for is it has Punky Brewster in the movie, and her boyfriend is a black guy. A black guy and a white girl together in like the 90s film. That's not something you would see very often, so that was kind of cool. So Pumpkinhead spares her because the sheriff convinces him not to kill her because, you know, he trusts the sheriff because he saved him when he was a kid, which I'm not sure how the hell Pumpkinhead remembers him. I guess Pumpkinhead's magical. I mean, how he remembers what he looked like. I mean, how he knows it's him because the sheriff is like fucking 40 years older, so how does he know it's him? But, yeah, so that didn't make much sense. This posse shows up, shoots down Pumpkinhead. He falls on a hook just like he did when he died as a human. And he hangs over this well, gets shot all to pieces, he dies and falls down into the well. So it's a sad ending here. And Bill Clinton's brother has a cameo in this flick. I have no idea why. He's like the mayor and he walks around playing a guitar. It's just like such, you know, typical token hillbilly type characters. But it's not terrible. That's, for the most part, they get the countryside pretty well in this flick. All in all, I'd give it 2 stars, a low 2 stars. It's nothing compared to Pumpkinhead 1, but for what it is, it's a passable flick. It's got some okay kills every now and then. Andrew Robinson does a good job. The directing is mostly decent to good for the most part. Every now and then you get a bad shot or just an okay low-budget shot. But Pumpkinhead's practical. It's a passable 2-hour waster. I've seen much better. I've seen much worse. The film's not terrible. It's just kind of there. So I'll see you guys again with the next review.